Hey everyone, Eddie Campos here with Remax Preferred Associates, and this is Coffee with Eddie, and I'm here with my guest, Paul Zito with RGP. Paul, thanks again for joining me.
Good morning, Eddie. Great
Good
to see
morning.
you.
Good to see you. And Paul, we had spoken about what RGP does and how they've affected the community. We've spoken about how you directly are involved with that conduit to other parts of the world coming to little Northwest Ohio. Let's talk a little bit about what's happened with COVID and how that's affected you directly, RGP directly, our community directly. You had mentioned in a previous conversation that 2020 will hurt, but we already have $100 million and 250 jobs that are already slated to come to the area. That doesn't sound like that hurts too bad.
Not at all, and that's why I'm smiling. Let's start at the beginning. RGP and Jobs Ohio, when COVID became apparent, really hopped on the ball. Jobs Ohio has committed to approximately $320 million in programs to help companies throughout Ohio. And my colleagues at RGP, primarily Andy Lorenz and Chase Eikenberry, reached out to hundreds of companies throughout Northwest Ohio to find out, are they having difficulty with payroll? Do they need some help? Do they need help with PPE? Do they need help with supply chain? And hopped right on it. So I was very proud of RGP and Jobs Ohio, and still am, that they did that. For me personally, to promote foreign direct investment, I'll be honest with you, in the middle of March, I thought, oh my goodness, this is the end of the world. That lasted about 24 hours because I then became full of optimism. I realized that business, particularly US business, is so resilient that industry, research and development will find a way to overcome this crisis. And most people think that foreign investment into the United States and to other countries will in fact increase. Why? To avoid disruptions in supply chain. Think about that company in Tiffin, Ohio, that has containers coming from China, Malaysia, Thailand, somewhere. It takes a long time to get here. It's very expensive. And if a crisis like this happens and those containers are stopped for a month, for 90 days, for longer, their own business here in Tiffin, Ohio is in jeopardy. So there's going to be a great movement. Some people refer to it as reshoring. It's actually more complex than that, of trying to localize your supply chain. Instead of shipping that part from the other side of the world, either make it here or find a supplier nearby that can do that. A consultant that I respect very much has been using the term, there's going to be a great trend for local. Localize everything, not just for retail, but for industry, for research and development, and even for services. You mentioned since March 15th, this region has already seen over $100 million invested in capital equipment and bricks and mortar, which is going to lead to the creation of over 250 jobs. When many people think the world was going to end or is going to end, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, and it's funny, in the real estate industry, we always speak about how real estate is local. So, for example, an FHA loan in Toledo, Ohio may have a cap of $289,000. In Cleveland, Ohio, it may be $350,000. Guidelines are different per region, per state. So we always like to put an emphasis on not only buying local, but dealing with a local lender, dealing with a local title company. They know the region very well and can adapt to things and understand what the customs are of our area. So it sounds like what you're seeing is people are making that same adaptation, whereas maybe they dealt with companies outside of the area. They're looking for people that are inside their little circle to make things a little bit more easy.
Yeah, shorten that supply chain, shorten that access to market. It's funny, something you said reminded me of, please don't laugh, But one of the greatest assets of Northwest Ohio is the weather. I've lived in many climates. I've lived in the desert, on the West Coast, the foothills of the Alps. I love the weather here. The humidity is not as bad as, say, Chicago in the summer. The snow is not as bad as the Cleveland, Akron area in the winter. And we don't have earthquakes, wildfires, horrible hurricanes. And that is a tremendous asset. And companies around the world are taking a serious look at where is a stable location where my employees, my operations don't have to worry about catastrophic weather instances. So, it may be very flat here, but even that's an asset because it's easy to build on.
Sure, that's absolutely true. It's kind of funny. I did chuckle a little bit when you did bring that up because, just some friends and I were talking and I had mentioned how when I checked the weather on Monday and then when I checked again on Wednesday of last week, how drastically it had changed compared to what they started with. But the change, it wasn't so much so that it went from, being a tornado and torrential downpour to sunny skies. It was just enough where it's like, oh my goodness, it's raining. And we don't realize what you just said. The changes aren't that drastic. We make it feel like it's drastic. So it's that old adage, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, wouldn't it be great to be living in Orlando right now? Well, not.
I think if you're the type of person that wants a true 4 seasons, this is an ideal region to be in. Another great selling point for Northwest Ohio and the Toledo area, there is a big trend of businesses and people not wanting to be in huge metro areas. New York City, San Francisco, LA, Atlanta, and being a mid-sized city, Toledo has a great sell for it, not only for manufacturing and research and development, but for human capital, for young people that say, wait, I don't want to have to deal with the traffic and the noise and the dirt of some huge city. I'd rather be in a good metro area that has plenty of job opportunities, plenty of innovation, and plenty of things to do, arts, entertainment, culture, sport, etc.
Well, when you and I first met and I gave you the tour of the area, I think one of the things I probably told you that I tell everyone is you can generally get about anywhere in our area in about 20 minutes.
Yep. Oh, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about going to a park.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and we said, in a 5-minute drive, we can be in 4 different great parks.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Our community is definitely rich with a lot of culture and a lot of great people, and I think a lot of great opportunities. So thanks for taking that message out to the rest of the world. Oh,
it's my pleasure.
Well, thanks again for joining me. Everyone, this has been Coffee with Eddie. This is Eddie Campos with Remax Preferred Associates and my good friend Paul Zito with Regional Growth Partnership. Thank you again, and we'll stay in touch. See you next week.
Bye.